Did the British predict the future? We will look at cars, fashion, and inventions that people from the past thought we would have today. In this issue of Old Times Is Not Forgotten, we're going to look back in time to the 60s and 70s and see if Britain predicted what it was going to be like in our century. Did they get it correct, or were they way off base? Let's start with their predictions for 21st century fashion.
First, I'd like you to look at a puzzle picture and see if you can guess what it is.
It's my hip. And it's covered by a white stretch material that's stretched over plastic rings. And if you think my hip looks odd, then I think really you better take a good look at the rest of me. I'm wearing the very latest fashion idea. It's been designed by two Dutch gentlemen. It can either be worn by a man or a woman. Now, the idea that the designers have got behind this one-piece suit is freedom of movement. It means really that at all your joint points, these plastic rings that go round give a great deal of freedom, like at your knees, your hips, and, of course, your elbows. It has been tried out already, and the people who tried it out were, in fact, a ballet company. It was the Netherlands Ballet Company, and they found it worked very well indeed. They could move around, dance around, energetically or slowly. They found that it gave their movements a very great deal of freedom. But whether this thing will catch on or not, I don't know. It'd take a bit of courage, I think, to walk down the high street like this. And also, it costs quite a bit of money, so maybe, you never know, though, in the year 2000, when we come to dig up our Blue Peter box, then people might be wearing this sort of thing. Who knows? Fashion's changed as easy as that.
Of some cars of the future.
But here's the prototype of a new British line of cars, which the makers claim is the first to combine fun and individuality with sheer practical family motoring. This four-seater six-wheeler with a platform at the back has a glass fibre body moulded onto a tubular box section chassis. It's designed to take a standard 1000cc transverse-mounted engine, and though it comes off the production line without an engine, it is, in all other respects, a complete car, and it's easy for a do-it-yourself enthusiast to fit an engine, steering mechanism, gearbox and subframe without too much difficulty. It's got braking on all six wheels, and the four wheels at the back make sure that even with a heavy load on board, the small car remains stable on the roadway. And you're not likely to find a car like this round every corner in Britain, because even when it goes into full production, there'll only be 3 new cars of this kind coming onto the market every week. Of course, you don't have to have the roof on the back. You can have it covering the entire car, or just the front, or if the weather's right, you can dispense with it altogether.
Here's a classic chassis for our world of wheels. These exotic cars are not all show. Some are built for go. Here's Big Daddy Roth at the beach with his surf-fight car. It carries one man and a surfboard. The young lady presumably furnishes her own transportation. Ungallant, perhaps, but it seems to work for Big Daddy. For those of you who favor togetherness, here's the Big Surf Woody, custom built by driver George Barris. Now we know why he brought the gal along. George couldn't go surfing by himself if he wanted to. The pretty electronics expert is the only one who knows how to get the surfboards out. In the old days, the comedy-minded salesman said, you can have your car in any color, so long as it's black. Well, now, cars come in all the colors of the spectrum and beyond. Here's John Derrick driving one in charming Pinto. Television's contribution to our world of wheels. The magnificent Munster. With 2/3 of the Earth covered by water, here is the obvious solution, the aqua car. Of course, I'm never without one.
Well, I don't see too many people driving around in those automobiles. How about car gadgets? Do you think that they guessed it right? Let's see.
Lost, driving in a strange town with an address but no map. Sooner or later, it's a pedestrian who helps out.
Straight round the corner and up the road on the other side of this one.
But pedestrians naturally think in terms of walking. All too often, the driver meets a wall of signs forcing him to go in quite the wrong direction. So, ask again.
I've heard of it, but I couldn't tell you how to get there.
"50 yards, turn right at T-junction. 175 yards, turn left at Crossroads. 200 yards, straight on at traffic lights."
Now that's what I call a really good navigator. A clear, precise instruction, given in plenty of time for me to position myself in the road so that I can negotiate the hazard or the change of direction with the utmost convenience. Yet here I am, completely alone in the car, and at the same time in the very best of hands. My navigator is this pre-recorded cassette of tape. On it are all the instructions I need to find my way round this route, and if I ever use a different route, I simply use a different cassette.
On the inside of the windscreen is a sensor for the latest in car accessories, windscreen wipers which automatically respond to rain. But how does the sensor inside detect rain on the outside? Well, it works like any touch-sensitive switch. It contains two flat interlocking plates like these, which form part of an electrical circuit to control the wipers. On this cross-section you can see how the plates develop an electrical field between them, which also passes through the windscreen. When the ignition's switched on, as it is now, if something disturbs that electrical field, circuitry under the dashboard triggers the wipers, especially something like this. Oh, they're not working very well.
And of course, there's robots. I'm still waiting for my personal robot.
Introducing Mabel, the robot housemaid. Free your wife from domestic slavery. Let her command her own slave at the touch of a button. Ironing? Forget it. Leave it to Mabel with her computer understanding of textiles.
Some predictions for the world of technology, starting with the TV set.
The latest technology from Japan. A television set which talks to you. At least it was earlier on.
Watch from a distance for your eyes' sake.
Watch from a distance for your eyes' sake. These ultrasonic detectors here have made out that I'm too close, so I'll move back out of the way.
From a distance for your eyes'
That's not
sake.
all it can do. It'll say good morning, even bid you have a good night's sleep. And it detects whether you're there or not. Now it's going to fade itself out because it's decided I'm not watching anymore. And that's all from us this week. Until next week, good night.
As you see, it's the kind that appears on the other channel most nights, but what makes this film different from any other black and white is that. Not that, but that. According to the most recent American research, more than half of you watching now will be seeing something which is invisible to the others. Well, did you see it? Color on a black and white system. If you didn't see it, it could be because your viewing conditions aren't right. The people who made that film say the curtain should be drawn and the lights on in your room. Here's another film from the same makers. Try blinking your eyes, that might help a bit. Now what you're looking for is the color generated in the flakes as they fall out of the packet. They're intended to appear red, blue, and green. If you still don't see it, try getting a bit nearer the set. Now, if it worked for you, and I say again that well over half of any audience should have seen the colors, you have just taken part in an historic moment on British television. Let me try and explain how it works. The flickering part of the picture is carefully created to deceive the parts of the eye's retina which distinguish color. Now look at this special film which shows more clearly what I mean. What you should be seeing, as the labels tell you, is red at the top, green on the left, and blue on the right.
Finally, here are some handy-dandy space-age inventions.
I've picked up an object on the left-hand side. I'm approaching it. It's a solid bit, sounds like concrete. A lamppost a foot wide. Carry on.
Greetings, 20th century people. I'm wearing part of the gear of the future. Well, it may look like today's, but it's not what it seems. The suit is chemically treated to make it thermosensitive. It absorbs heat when you're hot, thus cooling you down, and releases it again when you're cold, so you maintain a constant temperature. Well, I don't have much in my pockets. A few smart cards, holograms of my family, and we've finally solved the problem of lost keys. Don't have any in the first place. Each unique fingertip opens all the different doors in my life when I press them against pattern recognition pads. I also carry my doctor round with me. A tiny biosensor under my tongue analyses chemical changes in my saliva and radios any changes that I ought to know about to my tie, which changes colour so I can intercept most illnesses before they become a problem. And I carry my office round with me as well. Now, this isn't just a watch or just a TV phone. It's, if you look, it might have Maggie underneath. Wave, Maggie. It's also satellite connected, so I can receive information, any information I want, from any computer I have access to around the world. And I carry a printer for that information in my briefcase, so that when I get a message, it all prints out like that. But oh, what else have I got in here? How about this for a bit of future entertainment? This is my 3D TV, and I can shut out the world for the brief moments that I'm still stuck on mass public transport systems? Well, we take full responsibility for our predictions, so someone will be back in 20 years' time to analyse just what happened to tomorrow's person.
Meanwhile, back here on Earth, a major revolution has been going on which might just have escaped your attention. It seems that 1982 could well be known as the year that changed the face of the toothbrush. It seems that ever since the Chinese invented the brush around 1498, the bristles and the paste have always been separate. Now they're mated. It's an idea that's awesome in its simplicity, allowing you to squeeze the paste onto the brush using only one hand. And you can even do it while actually cleaning your teeth at the same time. But that's only the beginning. Here we have what the French manufacturers call an educative toothbrush, designed, they say, to teach us how to clean our teeth. And it's all done by music. They claim that as long as the brush is making contact with the teeth at exactly the right pressure to remove the plaque, a tune, in this case a phrase from Love Story, is repeated over and over again for at least a minute and a half, which is, according to the manufacturers, the minimum time required to do your teeth properly. What's more, it doesn't even make use of the microchip. Instead, it makes use of a technology that's probably unknown to anyone under the age of 25. It's called clockwork. You wind it up each time you want to do your teeth. So, if the repetition of Love Story gets on your nerves, there are 120 other tunes to choose from. The manufacturers are obviously aiming at a worldwide market with cosmopolitan themes like America the Beautiful, Sur le Pont d'Avignon, and even Arrivederci Roma.
But could one of science fiction's most popular dreams ever come true? Will I ever find myself popping a couple of pills into my mouth rather than eating a square meal? To be honest, oh, it smells nice. I'd miss tucking into this lot. But that apart, would it be possible to squeeze all the nutrients our bodies need into a handful of pills? Well, if you can face looking at your Christmas dinner again, in this meal there is 66 grams of protein, 54 grams of fat, 115 grams of carbohydrate, and of course that includes your dietary fibre, and some trace elements and vitamins. And all that is bound together with water. So surely it must be possible to take these powders and make them into pills. After all, many people already take their vitamin and iron supplement in tablet form. What would happen if we extended that to everything we ate? And it is perfectly possible. You could get all your nutrients for one meal into 3 pills. The only snag is that they'd have to be that size. And if you think they're a bit of a mouthful, maybe you'd prefer to take a few more of the smaller pills. I think I'll be sticking to roast turkey, thank you very much.